Hello, Namaste, and welcome to Agile Exploration Hub. I am your host, Nagesh Deshpande. We are bringing a new episode, and topic will be very interesting: output versus outcome. So, many professionals, Scrum Master, Agile coaches, they deliver features. Yeah, complete the sprint, they hit the deadlines, everything happens very nice. Still, promotions or recognition or the the impact that they have made is still unknown. So, in this episode, we are going to talk with Gazala. She is an experienced agile coach. She will explain us the difference between output and outcome and why this is matter when you are gaining leadership experience in your career or you're gaining more and more experience in your career. So this is this is a valued experience, not just a normal activity. Okay. So if you are busy and you're not growing much, this episode will change your thinking. This episode will help you. So watch till the end, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and let's continue discussion with Gazala. So let's welcome Gazala.
Mm.
How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. So as my audience knows, every weekend we record and every Monday 8 p.m. we release new episode. So without wasting much time, let's get into the today's topic, Gazala.
Sure.
So definitely, the topic is output versus outcome, and we are going to discuss about the difference between it, but at the later part of this episode. But first, let's discuss why do team focus more on output than outcome?
Interesting question. Okay. So what I have seen is outcome is easy to measure and it has speed. Because when we talk about output, after each and every sprint, you are able to measure it. How many stories you delivered, how many velocity we have delivered, what is my predictability. So all these metrics which we are measuring at team level, those are output metrics, right?
Output metrics,
And when
yes.
we talk about outcome, definitely outcome is like user behavior, market conditions, and all this takes time. When we deliver anything to the production, you will not get anything immediately as an how much it has changed. You have to wait for some time. You have to at least wait for a month or a two or a quarter to get the results. So this
Right,
is one thing because outcome is depending on these factors and it requires time. We are inclined to output. Secondly, humans naturally optimize what they can control. Output we can control, but outcome we
absolutely.
don't have any control on that thing.
Mm.
Then I will say another main important point is our performance systems or our reward systems. So where we are just not linking them with the outcome. So if you have seen our OKRs also, we have
Mm.
never thought about outcomes. Means if you have gain, suppose customer satisfaction from this level to this level, then only you will get promotions. That kind of stuff is not present. So what we say, whatever delivery is planned, if you deliver it on time, you will get promoted or you will
Right,
get to next level. So
right,
that kind of linking is also playing a bit of role. So if you
right.
want that strategic thinking will to be started in your team members, then it has to sip down from the leadership to the bottom. So that
Right.
if everybody start talking in that outcome language, then team will also start thinking in that language. But currently it's not in place. So I think these are the few things which really plays critical role here. And we have to make our teams think in strategic manner. We always tell them, okay, this is your sprint backlog, focus on this velocity, keep it consistent, and deliver it by this date. So
Right.
this statement needs to be changed, and then we can see the shift from output to outcome.
Yes, yes. So the example that you give about what happens currently, most of the Scrum Masters they can relate it. The leadership or the business tell you we want three feature and we deliver the three feature. That's it. Whether these
Right,
three features are being used, are the customer are using it enough, are they satisfied with the features, are they incorporating their business, enhancing their business? We never measure that, or we measure it very late. Yeah. And it comes back again, it's come back as a bug or issue in the system. Instead of
right.
it is not taken consider as a feedback. So this is the clear way you can see the we only measure the output. Three features deliver, that's the output.
Yeah.
Right. And then, yeah, how does output based thinking, slow your career growth? Because we mainly helping people who building their career. So now, as a Scrum Master, if you only think
Mhm.
about output based thinking, what will be the challenges?
Yes, so I have seen that definitely output thinking slows your career growth. So why it will happen? Because when you say about output, you will think only till your team level.
Right.
Okay. You will not have your stakeholders in picture. You will not have your organization in picture. You will not think about revenue. You will not think about any profit of my organization is making. And even simplest thing you will not think is whether my feature is delivering the value required by the stakeholder. So,
Absolutely.
so we are missing on the important needs which every business has. And when we focus on output, definitely we miss on some strategic thinking.
Hmm.
So we are just looking at a very short time period and then focusing on that one, and we are leaving it there. So if you want to grow in a career, or if you see any organization or their hierarchy, you can see the people who are moving up the ladder, they are thinking differently. They are not just worrying about these team metrics or these things. They are saying, don't tell me how much velocity we have delivered, tell me what change we have made at the customer level. They say what value we have added, or they start seeking the options where we can invent something or innovate something so that we can make our customer or our stakeholders life easy, or for our or if it is internal project, our organization's life easy. So all this strategic thinking, innovation, all these things come when we decide to discuss about outcome. And
Right.
when you are at a team level, you don't have to worry about all these things. But after certain period of time you have spent in your career, definitely you have to start doing this strategist thinking. Now I will give you example. I am agile coach. I have my 7 to 8 scrum masters. So if I only think that okay, we have to handle these many teams, if I keep that goal in front of me, then it's output thinking. But
Right.
what I have to start thinking is, along with my Scrum Master's growth, how I can deliver a value to my organization, how organization can see my Scrum Masters are valuable to them. And
Hmm.
for that, I have to link my Scrum Master's work to outcome. So I have to
Absolutely.
always tell them, okay, we help you to increase your customer satisfaction, we help you to increase your revenue, or we help you to reduce this much amount of rework which got converted into this much of cash. So if that language changes, then definitely the game changes. So if you want to grow in your career now also, whatever OKRs we are having in our organization, we are trying to have the OKRs which are get linked to our outcomes and not to the outputs. So
Perfect.
so if you want to grow in a career, definitely this thinking has to come.
So, guys, think about outcome based thinking. I'll understand that, and that's what we are going to discuss now, or we are going to understand next question. What is difference between output and outcome?
Yeah,
Hmm.
this is a crucial one. And even in our organization, what we have started is we have started taking trainings around this output versus outcome, because we have seen that at various levels, the gap is there and understanding is not same. So many people are thinking output itself as outcome, which is not right. So I will give you one simple example. Output is what we ship, okay, and outcome is what changes because we shipped. So there is a complete difference. So though I have delivered a stories, but if those stories are not helping my stakeholders, then we have achieved nothing. So this is the biggest difference between output and outcome. And in many cases, I have seen that for certain features or for certain functionalities which we are delivering to the customer, even POs are not sure what outcome we are delivering. So sometimes we have to sit down, brainstorm, and discuss what outcome we are delivering from this feature, and then we can correlate then with our outputs. So that exercise, I think, oftenly we have missed. And one more thing is impact. So, though we say that, okay, we have done output, we have delivered outcome to my customer, you have to do the impact analysis. So we talk about CSR, NPS surveys, all these things we talk, but I have not seen in the system, if I have delivered suppose certain feature, what impact it has made to my customer or a stakeholder. That mechanism is still missing. So we have to see how we can bring that mechanism back so that we will understand, okay, we are really making impact. it will be in form of anything, because it will that definition of impact will change from domain to domain, but that
Yes.
definition needs to be in existence. And in current system we don't have any easy way outs to calculate that or to measure that. So this is output and outcome, I will say.
Yeah.
And one more thing I want to add here, and output ends when the work is done, and
Right.
outcome begins when the work is used.
Absolutely.
Okay. And one more thing which we always talk in our teams is, if no behavior change, no outcome happen, no matter how much we delivered, we are not doing anything. It's means waste, we can say.
Well, one of my favorite example that I often give,
Hmm.
try to make it very easy to understand difference between output and outcome is, let's have you have a family together, you're sitting, there are
Hmm.
kids, plenty of
Hmm.
kids, and they're hungry.
Okay.
Now you cook something and serve the food.
Right.
That's the output, right?
Hmm.
Now, if the kids eating that, they liking it, if they hunger satisfied, that's the outcome. The impact also is the hunger satisfaction. They are happy with that.
They're happy.
That's the outcome.
Yeah.
So always make sure this is always I always give this example during all my team meetings, even in my conference talks and all that. The difference between output and outcome. Just finishing the work, like I finish now cooking. That's done dusted. But what if is people eating it? Are they liking it? Are they their stomach full? That's the matrices that you have to check and then feel
Hmm.
it. That's the outcome.
Yep.
Right. Moving on to the next question, Gazala. How can leaders shift team focus to outcomes?
Okay, so as I talked in my talk previously, this change needs to be done from the leadership to the team level. So teams
Right.
alone are not going to work on the outcome. They definitely need leadership help here. So first thing which leaders can do is, they can whatever OKRs they are going to give to the teams, from the organization to the any department, they have to always keep in mind that those OKRs are linked to the outcomes. Okay. Second thing is, in every talk, whatever we are doing with teams, we have to ensure that we are including outcomes. So even if you're doing grooming sessions, I mean, story refinement sessions, if you are doing planning, so whenever your requirement sessions are there, you have to make team understand how it's going to benefit my stakeholders. So what work you are doing, how it's correlated to your outcome. So that is the second change which we should do. Then one more thing leaders can do is, instead of asking teams how much you have delivered, are you on a track, or how many stories you have delivered, or how many velocity for your team you are currently having. So instead of these questions, they have to change them and they have to ask what problem you have solved,
Right.
or what we did learn from the things which you have delivered from that. Is that learning going to help us in the future? So if this shift they make, then definitely it will teams will start thinking in that direction, and they will also start seeking those answers, and they will start showing that in their behavior. So they I understand that we can't say output we can completely remove and we can do the complete focus on outcome. That is also not possible,
Right.
because for having a outcome, output is also required. So what we have to do is, we have to review outputs for operational health, and we have to review outcomes for decision quality and the impact they are making. Okay, so if we make this clarification and if this bifurcation very clear to the teams, then it will be really helpful, and then they will start thinking in that direction.
Great. Good. Yeah. Okay. Great discussion so far. Let's move on to next thing. We already little bit discussed about this one, but why organizations or why do enterprises rewards output more than the impact?
Yeah. Actually, answer is hidden in the definition itself,
Hmm.
because output has a speed and output doesn't has a speed. It takes time. And definitely outputs are related to the feature shape, releases completed, milestones achieved, right? And definitely organizations also have to show that they are progressing, right? They can't say that,
Right.
oh, we are waiting for a feature which we are delivered to get and yeah, what we have delivered, whether it's satisfying our customer or not. And the impact is contextual. So
Right.
the behavior is changed, confidence gained, waste avoided or not. So these all things take times, right? And for your annual planning, budgeting, and forecasting require commitments, right? And outputs definitely has a fixed scope.
Right.
So you can definitely convert it into your commitments. But for outcome, it's little tricky. And sometimes they are also under pressure, right? Organizations are under pressure to show that some context has been given to the stakeholders, or something has to be shown to the stakeholders, so that they will also get their return on investment, and they get a confidence of that thing. So to give that confidence also, sometimes this compromise needs to be made, and we have to work on the output more rather than waiting for the outcome.
Yeah.
So these factors plays a role because of these. What I can say is the definitions or the clarity at each level. So if we have that clarity at each level, then might be the picture will be different. So if stakeholder will also start speaking outcome language itself, then it will be easy for organization, and then it will get passed down to team as well.
Right.
But this
We deal it
whole
in more.
chain needs to be updated.
Yeah. We mostly deal into the teams. That's the problem mainly. We will
Hmm.
always check the numbers, whether, if these number of features are delivered, or this number of story point achieved, or something like that. That's the mindset that we have to shift, like you said, to outcome based thinking.
One more thing I want to add.
Yeah,
Um, and here psychology safety also plays a role. So
absolutely. Hmm.
when we are saying output, there are majority of the chances that we don't fail in the output.
Right.
Okay. Maximum what happens, story gets spilled over.
Hmm.
Okay. Or whatever velocity we have committed, we are not able to deliver. But when we talk about any experimentation or if any failure, that failure is going to be identified when we will deliver it to the production.
Absolutely.
In the whether we get a bugs, or whether that feature is working as expected or satisfying a customer or not, that experiment is successful or not, that we will get learning afterwards. And many times we are not ready to handle failure. We take it as a our flaw, or our drawback,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
So that psychological safety also we have to give to team. Okay, if your experiment fails, it's perfectly fine. Whatever learning we have from that experiment, we have to take that ahead, and we have to deliver properly in the next cycle or in the next release. And if we start giving that safety to our teams, then also they will start thinking more on the outcome
Right.
rather than
Failure.
having these short
Yeah.
games.
So in typical setup, failure never taken considered as a learning. Failure
Correct.
always considered as a failure. And that's the problem. That's the mindset that we have to change as agile leaders. Right, Gazala?
Yeah. Yes, true. Uh,
Right. And then,
yeah.
how can professionals prove outcome driven leadership? Any tips for that?
Yes. So, if you want to become a outcome driven leader, you don't have to focus on the activities or the task your team are doing. So you have to help them to correlate those tasks or those deliveries to your outcomes.
Right.
So that way you can drive them. This is the one thing which you can do. Then like you can't just say that, okay, I have delivered these X features. So
Hmm.
you have to ask team, if you have delivered X features, what problem of customer you have solved,
Right.
or what impact you have made at the customer end. So these questions also, as agile leaders, we should start asking teams. Okay. Then we also have to do certain trade-offs, or definitely there will be not always a goody-goody situations. There will be some hiccups. So
Right.
those hiccups also we have to understand, and we have to help teams so that they will take those hiccups as a positive signs and not the negative signs. So these few changes we have to do in ourselves, and then I think outcome driven thinking can become. So I will just give you one example here.
Sure.
So currently, what we have done is, Jira. We all are using Jira for our project
Yes.
management, right? We have lots of metrics in Jira, and to leadership was never having any visibility how our Scrum teams were working. So we are having around 40 to 50 Scrum teams which are working, right? Each team is doing their own backlog management, and they are delivering the features as per their release cycles. So ask came from the leadership, okay, if I have to see that how the teams are progressing, what we can do, okay, or how we can ensure that you are on the right track. So the thinking came, then we had a discussions with the leaders and everything, and then we designed one enterprise scorecard. and which was developed in the Power BI, and we give the linking to the Jira. So metrics, whatever we finalized, after that enterprise scorecard got developed, and when we started showing it to the leadership, whatever metrics we finalized were output driven metrics. We didn't consider any outcome there, and means like velocity, predictability, how many bugs we are getting from the production, how much aging we are happening for the bugs, and all these things. And then suddenly it clicked into our mind, okay, we are not giving any attention to the outcome here. So how leadership will understand? Leadership now understanding, okay, teams are working on something and then they are delivering something. But they are not understanding what impact or what value addition is happening to stakeholder, whether stakeholder is happy or not. That all picture is completely missed. So
Right.
now again we started reinventing the things, and we started having the discussions with the product owners, how you guys are gauging the outcome for your particular area. And then we came to know there is a lots of gap between output and outcome thinking, and now we have to correlate that, and we have to bring some outcome metrics on the scorecard so that it will give us a whole picture. So currently only half picture we have shown, and the half picture is missing. So, so we have to think when we discuss about any metrics or anything which we are going to show to leadership.
Nice. Okay. Coming on to our today's last question, Gazala.
Yeah.
One small, simple shift that can, change the delivery conversations immediately from output to outcome.
Okay. So simple shift we can make by the question which we are asking. So instead of asking what did we deliver, we have to say what changed because of what we delivered, what change
Hmm.
we bring, right? So this is a simple thing we can do. So I will say whenever we are working in any team, those all teams has to think about any story or any feature, what change they are bringing to the customer. So we have to start asking these questions again and again so that it will fit into the team's mind, and they will also be psychologically alert. Okay, if I do this task, I'm going to make this benefit.
Right.
So that thinking we have to build right now. So once we build that thinking, then definitely it will be uh, easy to have the outcome driven everything. But currently that is missing. So that we have to work on.
So, those who watched this episode till the end, please like the video, subscribe to my channel. Hope this discussion was very useful for you. Hope tomorrow onwards, I will request all of you to think in the out outcome based thinking instead of output based thinking. So, once again, thank you, Gazala, for being such a wonderful speaker on Agile Exploration Hub.
Thank you so much, Nagesh, and thank you, Agile Exploration Hub, for giving this opportunity. See you in the next video. Thank
See you in
you.
the next video. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.